So this is Radio Free Cybertron episode 880. I'm Exvee, not Brian. Brian is on assignment upstairs with his bathroom. But we actually have some like immediately breaking news. Some Thanks, Don. Now we just got a copyright strike. Um no, but some stock photos just leaked. Wheeljack64 in our Discord was good enough to give us a heads up just before we started. We have our first look at Legacy United Voyager class Vector Prime, and I just want to say before anybody else gets a comment in, I was correct. This toy is a retool of G-Axis, like I called a year ago when we first got the listing for this. Eat it.
Congratulations.
And that I have absolutely zero problem with that. Ajaxus is a great toy. I have
It
no
is.
problem
It
with
is.
that.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd work, but it does.
You lack vision, my friend.
I
See,
mean,
we-
it's heavily retooled. It's
It is.
Oh yeah.
But we
heavily.
never thought G-Axis would work in 3D space either. And
Um,
he did.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Okay, so looking at the stock photos, what I can see for new parts right off the bat, the middle chunk of the chest is different. Obviously, it's got Vector Prime's like dish thing going on, but the biceps and forearms, and I think the fists outright are also they're all reused parts. Um, the entirety of the legs are reused, including that the hinges for the ankle wings are still there, but the wings are just not attached anymore.
But we can
Let's
still attach wings to it.
if you got some wings that match the size of that friction hinge, go for it, dude.
I mean, there's
There
plenty of
will be
GXs left on the shelf. You can go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
buy one.
there will
Yeah.
be an upgrade kit that includes safeguard and some kind of wings for them spots. I just about guarantee.
Oh yeah. No, I mean you probably are correct. DNA design will probably do something along that line. Little add-on figures are certainly within their wheelhouse. How successful they are at making them, perhaps a little bit more debatable, more on DNA design later in the episode. Um, but yeah, like I didn't have like the most distinct vision of a Vector Prime made from G-Axis in my mind when I made this prediction whenever that listing first dropped, but like this pretty much conforms to what my realistic expectations would have been for this kind of retool. And yeah, it works. It works as well as I expected it to, honestly. I did think they probably would have retooled the legs a little bit, but it's still kind of the exposed wire thing that G-Axis had going on still kind of fits into Vector Prime's aesthetic. So it's not even that out of place.
I do
And it
kind of
comes with a
miss
key.
Yeah, Rob?
I do kind of miss the clockwork detailing that the original Vector Prime had. The exposed wires aren't a bad substitution for that,
Yeah.
and it kind of looks like the shoulders have more or less kind of tried to match that. Kind of like they're in, I don't know, they kind of look in between, if you want to call it that. But
Yeah, so like if you look at the picture of the ship mode, like they've got the gears on the prow of the spaceship mode and also on the connectors for the like solar panel wings.
To make him appropriately steampunk.
Right.
Yes.
It looks like they, like you said, though, they've kind of blended the aesthetic a little bit more for the robot facing parts because most of that is missing from that surface of the toy. But like the ship mode totally still has that aesthetic going on.
Yeah. Also, I'm just going to whine a little bit because I noticed that the edges of the wings are painted, and so is the surface of the cyber planet key. And it's all in metallic blue instead of the nice like maroon that would have matched the rest of the vehicle like Takara Tomy did back in 2005. So kinda, or was it even earlier? Oh Lord. Kind of wish they'd gone that route instead, but of course these are, renders, so who even knows?
Yeah, I mean, there is certainly the possibility of deco modifications at this point, but I would kind of assume that they probably favored the deco toward what the toy Hasbro release looks like, which they're going to consider is, the primary market that's going to buy this toy remembers that version more than how Dakara's came out.
Yeah.
That's incorrect of them to do so, but I understand the rationale here.
Yeah, especially since I'm pretty sure Vector Prime's deco in show matched the Takara toy.
It did.
Mhm.
It did.
This is absolutely going to be Alpha Trion later.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be no problem getting that out of this, especially since they have BotCon to use as a template for that.
And with the
Well,
13 primes coming in,
yeah.
2025, and we know
The-
we're getting an Alphatron toy in that.
Yeah.
The only thing is with a certain movie trailer that was released this last week and who we saw in that trailer.
Different toy line, Don.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that you can't have too many tanks. Are they going to hold off on that one Alpha Trion a little bit later?
Well,
No,
that Alpha Trion is a beast.
and it's a 2024 toy. So I mean, I don't think they're going to consider that to really be a problem because
Yeah.
they'll be targeting that the movie Alpha trying to be off the shelves functionally before the generations whatever of the primes is gonna be on target.
Wishful thinking, but
Like I said,
digress.
it's how they have this planned out. For their internal bookkeeping, this is how it works. Whether reality conforms to that plan or not is outside of their purview. Yeah, no, it doesn't. I agree. Yeah, no, but I'm into how this Vector Prime looks. I really always loved that original Cybertron toy, and I think in some ways, like Starscream, it's gonna lack that like really satisfying heft and chunkiness of the original. But like at least this mold is a known quantity. I don't have to be afraid of getting this and having it just like not work. It's going to satisfy the basic requirements of this, and I probably will end up picking this up. Um, like in one way, I am already thinking of looking at this would be like younger Vector Prime, like pre-Cybertron Vector Prime, just because he's more like lithe and active looking than the original version did, and like he was one of the 13 primes as presented in Cybertron. So like this would be like, pre-Golden Age Cybertron potentially. Like there's a lot of ways that you could look at this and have it still fit into a collection even if you have that original toy. I'm actually really kind of happy with how this retool turned out, and just beyond my satisfaction of yes, I totally called what they were going to do with this.
Well, basically this is the Peter Davison Fifth Doctor compared to Capaldi's, 13th Doctor look. It's just young Vector, like you said, young Vector Prime versus old Vector Prime.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, since we jumped right into breaking news, I'm Exvee. We have Headmaster Dom, we have Matt, John DeLuna, Diecast, and Rob Clay. And Brian Kilby, as noted, is not here this week for all intents and purposes. Radio Free Cybertron is the internet's first Transformers podcast, one of the oldest podcasts in existence. We've been going since 1999 and breaking news for many a year. Speaking of breaking news, we had another leak happen just earlier today. We'd had the tease that Robosen was going to reveal their flagship robot Megatron on the 25th during a live stream. That's tomorrow, but the video that they prepared to demonstrate their product happened to get found. I think somebody mistakenly put it on a playlist on Robosen's YouTube channel. So it was discovered that way, and they did take it down after a little while. But if somebody would have happened to save a copy of that and then maybe like comb through it and take a bunch of screenshots showing the details and features and things, like that's totally a thing that could have happened. So we can still have a look at this and get some early impressions of the next auto transforming robot that you're going to have to pay $1,700 for, or whatever the price point is this year. We don't actually know yet. So I personally think that this is the best looking Combiner Wars leader class Megatron that's ever existed. But what about you guys?
Is that damning with faint praise?
I'm not sure yet, Don.
It's pretty much exactly what I expected, which
Same,
kind of
yeah.
disappoints me a little bit. I was just hoping for maybe a miracle that it would blow my mind, and it's good. It's just exactly what I expected.
Mhm.
I'm not giving any of this Robosen stuff other than, oh, hey, that's neat. I have no
Right.
desire to buy any of it. I was kind of hoping they would have done a G2 Megatron, just, grins and giggles there, but for that kind of money, no, they're going to stick with what works. Um, I will say that it's a lot more fluid than I probably maybe not as fluid as Grimlock, but again, it's a completely different transformation. So there could be a little hanky janky with Megatron, but he does look good. He looks like a G1 Megatron as close as you're going to get with the tank mode. Um, but Brian had mentioned this on several occasions. The technology of these things are not going to be cutting edge forever.
Mhm.
And sooner or later, these things are just going to turn into gigantic paperweights.
So an interesting thing I noticed watching this video, they've introduced like an additional way to program basically how the robot works. There's contact sensors or buttons on different parts of the toy, and you can move by hand the limbs and stuff and set those positions with the buttons or sensors on there. And basically from that predetermine a movement path for it without using the app in either of its like simple programming or like full in-depth programming languages, which I think is an interesting accessibility application for this. The only thing is like in my mind, I'm going to characterize that as oh, okay, so this is the easy way for kids to kind of set up basic functions with this, but like I don't think these Robosen flagship things are really like suitable for unsupervised playtime with kids that would need that level of like ease of use. Like I think, if you have a child of that age that wants to play with this, you need to be right there with them and like helping them work through the app, obviously, but like it needs to be more supervised playtime because this is an expensive and complicated thing and like as safe as I'm sure they try to make these, I still feel like there's probably like pinch dangers and things like that for a child that wouldn't think to like, okay, don't have your hand near the elbow when it's bending, for instance. Like,
Yeah.
um, so I mean, I guess for like easy demonstration purposes, it's nice to have that if you want to just like pop it out real quick and show somebody what it can do. But it's a cool feature they've added. I'm just not sure like what the actual intended use case for it is on a larger scale. It seems like a really one and done kind of thing. You would do that here or there, but it's not going to be like a regular use option with that.
My favorite part of the entire thing is the tiny rotating Decepticon symbol during the transformation. I don't know why, but I love that little detail that it turns on its own.
That was really cute. Yeah. I like that.
Yes, it's a slightly novel take on Megatron's transformation, especially since it kind of reverses into robot mode. That's not a typical way we see Megatron tanks transforming. What really impressed me though, of course it's got the moving tank tracks individually motorized. So they actually say in one of the video callouts that it can do like the pivot turns like real tanks, like a 0 degree turn or a near 0 degree turn. But it can also climb up a pretty steep incline, which I actually found the most impressive. Like it's got some traction and some power behind it to be able to go uphill. They also did end up doing what I was hoping for last week, which was actually putting a missile launcher on it. So they don't say it in the video, but like I'm sure the implication is there. You can, chase after a cat and just give it a really bad day, be just completely antagonistic to your household animals.
See,
Radio Free Cybertron does not endorse or recommend antagonizing your pets at home or out in the wild.
Yeah, we only recommended that the cat would attack Don.
Yeah.
It's true.
yeah. I mean, if it's good, I want the Megatron attack when it fires the missile, and you're not going to get that with this model. But seems like it's a missed Easter egg opportunity.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I would hate to live in a world where we do get a separate G2 release of this. Just because this thing is so expensive, like, don't make people want to have to double dip on it.
What's our over under on the price? Are we guessing more than Grimlock, less than Grimlock?
I'm gonna say 1,600.
What was
Sounds about right.
Grimlock?
About 1,600.
I'll go with that
More than
too.
Grimlock. More than Grimlock.
Okay.
Like the number that popped in my head was 1,700. So
All
I
right.
don't know. Doesn't mean anything, but
Okay. Try to remember your bids because we're gonna revisit this and go by Price is Right rules next week after the reveal.
That's gonna wind up being a range game where we're just gonna keep guessing prices until we finally get close.
Yeah. Does anybody want to put in the requisite $1?
I think Captain Rufus will do that in our chat.
Well, since Rob guessed 1,700, I'll guess 1,699.
Ah.
I'll guess 1701.
All right. But yeah, we're gonna have a live stream about this tomorrow. What I say we're going to receive a live stream about this from the Hasbro team tomorrow, probably with this promo video bundled into that. So we'll have a lot more details about this. We'll probably see it interacting with the Optimus and Grimlock that came out before. So keep an eye out on Pulse's YouTube channel for that to go up sometime tomorrow morning, including the price point, which we can all groan at later. Speaking of things that were live streamed for some reason in weird gimmicky ways, we have a lot of Transformers 1 news, starting with that. Yes, we indeed had a trailer, and no, I still don't know why they sent it to space first.
It's the final frontier.
Wrong franchise, Don.
At this point, does it make a difference?
Okay, so did we all get a chance to watch the trailer if we had any inclination to watch the trailer?
yeah.
Multiple times.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to start with Matt here. What did you think about this as the noted hater of the movies?
I think this feels exactly like a Pixar movie or a DreamWorks movie, or which not a bad thing. Doesn't appeal to me specifically, but I can
Mhm.
see why they're going that route. I think it's
Mhm.
a good thing for the franchise because let's face it, the live action stuff is kind of stagnant these days,
Mhm.
like not pulling down the numbers. So this will be better for parents to take their kids to. This is more likely to sell toys than I think a live action movie is at this point. So
Mhm.
I think this is a good decision, like a good direction to go in. Not specifically for me, but I can see why they went this route.
John DeLuna, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Matt. I think it's a good choice by them. It definitely looks like DreamWorks or something lower than that. Which
Yeah,
is not an insult,
pretty
but I mean,
paint by numbers DreamWorks, yeah.
yeah, very even all the jokes and stuff. It's like a
Mhm.
very like straight paint by numbers kids movie with Transformers slapped on it. And I agree, that's probably smart because you need to start attracting kids, or at least try to. And I think it's probably going to be hopefully a hit when it goes on Netflix eventually. I'm sure it'll go on Paramount Plus first. No one will
Mhm.
see it. And then it'll go on Netflix where people will actually see it. And I hope it finds like, some popularity there and kids watch it 4 or 5 times before they move on to something else. And that is like a legit form of success too.
Yeah.
So, to be the thing on Netflix for a couple weeks is there's no shame in that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of business sense, and it's not for us, and it doesn't need to be, because seemingly for the last like 3 or 4 years, all Transformer stuff, or almost all Transformer stuff, has been for us. So I see where they're going with it. And I mean, we just got done talking about like a potentially $2,000 Megatron. So we're fine. And I thought the trailer was fine too. So we'll see. It's great. It makes a lot of sense for Hasbro.
I am glad to see that like Alita 1 is just like a main character now
Yeah.
in more than one
Sure.
iteration of the franchise. I like that.
It's essentially taking the place that like RC would have 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Like
Or-
Alita is becoming the default female Autobot character when they need that role filled in something. And yeah, I think that's a good thing to get some more names in that pool. Let's start getting, Firestar and Moonracer, get them in that category too. Like, let's branch this out some more.
Yeah, it's
Don?
like no, I was gonna say, it was RC, then it was Windblade. Now it looks
Yeah.
like it looks like it was
The
Lita
Chromia
1.
shows up a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Chromium shows up a lot.
Mhm.
My thoughts, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it a lot. I think there's going to be for what the target audience, there'll be a lot of heart. There's going to be a lot of jokes. We saw that in the trailer. But I think this is going to have a lot of heart to it. Kind of like I got kind of a Wreck-It Ralph kind of vibe off of that. But I'm a big fan of the first movie. I think it's going to get a little darker in the middle towards the end when we think it's the Quintessons are showing up. Um, I think that the toys are going. I think a lot of us people, collectors, older fans, are going to have to separate this, like what Matt and John said. This was not geared for us. Not everything should be geared for us because a lot of stuff is geared for us. If it's not your cup of tea, don't poo poo on it. Let people that like it like it. If you don't like the toys or something, don't harsh on someone else's mellow, you know? But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, have a lot of heart. Uh, Probably a very good companion piece to Earthspark, if I'm being honest.
Rob, how about you?
I
Rob?
mean,
There you are.
yeah, had to unmute. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm with Don on, don't be down on anybody else for liking it if you don't. That said, I reserve the right to be negative, as I've said many times before.
Yeah.
Just it's okay to have critical thoughts about things. It's not only okay, it's important. And, at the moment, it looks like it could be a fun movie. Like you all said, I think you're right. It's definitely, it's not aimed at me, but I don't think I would, I don't think I'd have any problem watching it. I'd have no more problem sitting through it than I would, the last few Michael Bay movies, probably less, in fact.
Probably less. Yeah.
My only, aesthetically, my only complaint is I feel like the faces could be just a little bit better in a way I can't quite describe. There's just
Maybe a little
something
bit more distinct from each other.
distinct from each other, maybe a little bit more expressive. They look, to be honest, they look kind of similar to what Transformers Prime was going for, but I think because Transformers Prime maybe had a more distinctive aesthetic for their face designs, it worked a little better there, honestly.
Okay.
But there's nothing wrong with them. Just, not, like I said, just not. I feel like maybe could have been a little bit better, maybe in the finished movie, since God knows what we saw could be totally different by September. That's how movie making works at this point. So it'll be interesting to see that. But yeah, it's I don't think there's a thing wrong with it. Looks okay. That's about all I think at the moment.
I want this to succeed.
Yeah. I was
I
going
would-
to add to your point, Rob, that like I wouldn't be surprised if by the time the movie comes out we see like more subtle variation and a little bit more like depth to how the faces work versus what's in the trailer right now, because they still have like 4 months to work on this before they have to commit to print, so to speak, to actually get the drives out there to the theaters. So a lot can happen.
I'm pretty sure it is literally possible to patch movies at this point if you have less
It
second
is.
changes.
It is if they have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you have to launch them into space again. The whole thing.
No, that's patching the movie trailer. We don't have any indication so far
Oh.
that they're going to premiere the movie itself in low Earth orbit.
I mean, if we need to patch it in orbit, NASA just managed to repair Voyager 1 from like billions of miles away. So,
Yeah.
they can have a crack at it if they want.
Yeah, almost a full light day out.
Oh my. Okay, so we've got Janeway in the mix now. Is that it? Oh, wrong Voyager. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is
Voyager
no,
Dawn.
yeah.
Well, technically Voyager is Voyager 6, but we're veering off here. Diecast, did you have any thoughts you'd like to contribute about the movie trailer?
I did. I have a little bit different opinion, not too much. I liked all your opinions. The only thing I'm gonna add is I do think this is kind of for us. In the way that it's, telling the story how, Ryan Pax became Optimus Prime, how, Megatron became the leader of the Decepticons, that sort of thing. I think there's enough there that they're trying to pull us older fans in, at the same time saying, take your kids to this. This is a kids movie, which is smart. I think it's, like John said, it's going to be a very successful kids movie. Hopefully it gets some of the kids to pick up the toys in the store. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a decent movie.
That is something I'd like to add based on what Diecast was saying. I do like that apparently it is a story of, before the war and how the war started, but it is not a riff on the same how the war started story we've been getting riffs on for 30, 40 years now. Just like I hate to pick on IDW2. I'm not trying to, but just that was another version of that same story that we had seen zillion times, and it went was more elaborate, a little bit more thought out, but it was basically the same story. And this is a different story, and I like that.
Yeah, so Josh Cooley did an interview after the trailer launched, and I'm going to continue to say the trailer. That's the verb I'm going to continue to use because of the stupid send it to space stunt. But Josh Cooley did an interview, and basically he said that he was given Hasbro's full binder of Transformers lore, including all the different variations and the origin stories and everything. And it seemed like he went through and picked and chose and kind of piece together his own spin on that, and that's kind of what we're seeing in this. So I'm alarmed to say that I agree with Diecast, but only up to a point. So Matt and John suggesting the movie is not for us, I think is maybe a little bit folly, because being
I'm not saying
Pixar,
it's not for us. I'm saying it's not for me.
fair enough. So what John's saying about not being for us so much, I think is maybe a little bit folly, because being in the style of Pixar or DreamWorks, like those are air quotes kids movies, but they're always written and designed in a way to also appeal to adults, and it's well established at this point that those movies have as much of an adult fan base and dedicated following as they are for kids. Adults enjoy and care about those movies just as much. And if anybody in media production related to Hasbro is paying any kind of attention, they understand that, and they know going in this direction, they're not just going to pull in a kid market to this, hopefully, but they're going to get as many adults as they were before, just for a different kind of storytelling. And I think that is absolutely the right way to go with this. They needed to go some direction like this a long time ago. We've been saying that forever. The Bumblebee movie was a step in the right direction with that, but Rise of the Beast, I still haven't watched it. You guys say it's good. I trust your opinions in general. But it still was kind of a backslide toward what had come before. I'm hoping this will be successful enough to kind of turn the corner and take us down a different direction that, big budget Transformers storytelling can be for a while, and hopefully have some fresh air breathed into it. I enjoyed everything I saw in the trailer. It looked like a lot of fun to me. I don't know that I'm going to actually go to a movie theater and watch this when it comes out, but I'm a lot more likely when this hits Paramount Plus 8 weeks later to actually sit and put in the time to watch this. I might even, round up some of my other online friends that do watch parties together. And, this might be like Bumblebee, where I feel like, yeah, I can share this with other people without feeling embarrassed about my interests.
Now,
like the Bay movies tended to do.
yeah. Now there's one thing I'm going to add here, and this is just me. When these toys start hitting shelves,
Mhm.
there's going to be a lot of probably be a lot of influx of parents with kids targeted this age that don't know anything about Transformers.
Well, that's
Eh,
kind of what the movie is for, is to teach the kids
Right,
about the Transformers.
right. But
Get
what
them
I'm
hooked while
saying,
they're young.
Yeah.
right. But what I'm saying is, as collectors, as people that know the price points, the complexities of these characters, if we as older collectors are in the aisle and we see people looking at these characters, make sure you help them, give them a positive experience on picking out the best toy for their age group. Having worked retail a lot, especially at the holidays, I see parents and grandparents come in looking for stuff that they have no idea what this is. Little Johnny or little Susie, it's on their Christmas list to Santa. So we as more knowledgeable collectors need to help these people so that way it's a positive experience
Yeah,
for this
so,
younger generation.
If
they
you see
want help.
if you see confused parents or grandparents or whatever, having trouble figuring this out, and they're open to, some pointers on that, absolutely. If you see parents with their children trying to do this, leave them the heck alone.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you know,
Well, I mean, in my case, working retail, I can ask them, "Hey, do you need some help?" Because I've got the outfit and stuff like that.
Yeah, you've got your service merchandise shirt.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm in a, but they're
Well,
right.
that may still seem a little bit suspicious when they see you in Target, Don, but we know you have the service merchandise uniform
Yeah.
still.
But I'm just saying that would probably go a long way into helping when we can for this movie to be a success. Because if this is successful, it's going to give Hasbro some much needed cash to keep some stuff going that we like.
Don, stop trying to raise your Hasbro stocks. We know what you're doing.
I'm
Get
being
us
serious.
to work for free for you.
For all of the crap we've all given the Bay movies, look how much sheer unadulterated buttloads of cash it dumped into Hasbro's coffers, and how much we've gotten
Less and less
since
as time
then.
has gone on.
Yeah.
Yes, but still, we got stuff in that 6 movie time period that we may not have gotten at all because of the money the movies brought in. If TF1 is successful, it kickstart a whole new tangent for that age group. A rising tide floats all boats.
So, speaking of the toys, loosely, we do have our first look at some of the toy line. So, we had the leak late last week, uh, late last week's show. Actually, I think we talked about it a little bit on 879. The Studio Series Deluxe Optimus Prime from Transformers 1. We've got some better looks at this because someone in China already has one. With some of the packaging too, so figure that out, I guess. Alas, it does seem to still have the unfortunate beige.
Is it me or is it not as bad though? Because some of them pictures it looks a little closer to silver.
I've seen some where they look gray, and I was like, oh, okay, it's gray, and then sometimes it looks like really beige, and I'm totally confused.
Some of these some of these photos have like what seems like different degrees of beige on different kinds of plastic, which, I mean, plastic colors not matching 100% is not a thing generally. I mean, it's just, it can be good, or it can be acceptable, or it can be bad. But it really does remind me of some of the toys I have that, endured years of pipe tobacco in the house.
Yeah.
I'm so glad my dad smokes outside now.
Yeah, that's nice.
The Transformers 1 logo is definitely like a beigey, sandy color, so there is some contrast between the toys. I do just want to say one thing about the packaging. It continues the trend, the multi-year trend, where the word Transformers is on packaging multiple times, which irritates me. But the one thing about this packaging that really irritates me, and this is a designer talking, is that the word Transformers is on the front twice and in different fonts. And that gets my goat.
So what you're saying, John, is that these are not best practices?
Oh my gosh. No. That's why you don't want that reaction. When I look at these toys in Target, I'm just going to yell no at them, which I don't think is going to go over well with the family I'm trying to convince to buy them. Don, if this middle-aged man's just screaming no at the toys
Okay, but
because of the
but
packaging layout,
yeah,
I don't.
but
Not gonna be
I will.
convincing.
But other than layout, coming from someone who has a marketing degree, but not anywhere even remotely close to your experience, John. But from a standpoint of my 30-year-old, 40-year-old marketing education, the packaging is going to stand out on the shelf. It's vibrant, it's eye-catching. The red Optimus in that blue, the purple and the gray on the Alpha Trion. I think they made a good choice for the packaging colors, if not the layout.
It's definitely different from a coloring standpoint. I mean, we'll see. I'm not the biggest fan of modern Transformers packaging, but again, it's just my one thing with the
Yeah.
packaging is that
See,
you have Transformers on there twice in different fonts. Come on.
See, now what I want to happen is for one to go in the Legacy line, so it could be Transformers Legacy Transformers One Universe, just to see John's reaction to that.
My reaction will be like a heart attack. So
I
you know,
mean, like, I already with that tow line that came out being, Robots in Disguise 2001 universe on the call out plate on there in the tiniest font because they had to put 35 words on there to describe the toy. Like my head was about to explode at that already. I don't think we need to imagine John's reaction. Um no, so my peeve with the packaging we've seen so far is just on the Optimus where they've got the character labeled as Orion Pax / Optimus Prime. Like seriously, pick one or the other name and just go with it.
But this way, they can secure 2 trademarks.
I mean, I don't think they need to even worry about that. They've done this within the last year already.
Yeah.
They've
As
used
you-
Orion Pax pretty recently.
As you can see on the one photo, Bumblebee's packaging has the same deal.
Yeah.
So we can assume Megatron's will as well.
Yeah, most likely. So the core toy line stuff we've seen so far, there is a new transforming mask, which is Optimus Prime. The Bumblebee, I think, is a reuse. There is
Yeah,
larger
straight
scale.
up reuse, repackage.
There's larger scale simple figures. Many of them are also mold reuses, like Starscream and Megatron. The deluxe class in the core toy line, the two that we're seeing are new molds. I don't doubt it's going to be another Earthspark situation where we do see some ported forward molds in the new packaging where they can get away with it. But Optimus and Alpha Trion are all new. Both look pretty good to me. Optimus has consistent colors for his non-red parts, which definitely puts that in the lead for me to buy that over the Studio series. Ankle tilts notwithstanding. And
Hmm.
Alpha Trion just looks pretty cool in general.
Yeah.
And especially if these are still going to be $5 less than their Studio Series counterparts, like, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah. I hadn't noticed that Optimus Prime uses actual silver instead of beige. That's really nice.
Mhm.
I just do like that how this Optimus Prime kind of looks like a low poly version of the Studio series. Like everything's just a little bit smoother, a little bit simpler. Doesn't look bad for it though.
No.
It looks pretty decent in both modes. I may be with you. I may get this instead of the Studio one.
The silly thing is, it looks like both of them have fairly similar engineering. Like it looks like both the toys work basically the same way. There's just an absence of a clear plastic sprue, and I'm sure the core toy line one doesn't come with the matrix like the Studio Series one does.
Hmm.
But it's kind of goofy to me to have two toys be basically the same thing. This isn't even really like the Rise of the Beast stuff, because where we had the overlap between the Studio Series and the core toy line stuff as a result of the movie being delayed, the toys still looked and functioned pretty differently from each other. They just, were overlapping character coverage at their price points. This seems like it's going to be happening on purpose that way, but they're also doing it with like two really similarly designed toys, and that seems just kind of weird to me.
I have to say, I do kind of like the Optimus Prime mask. I think
Yeah, it looks fine.
I think it's better than the Primal. It's still its own thing, but I think it looks pretty neat.
Yeah. I still wouldn't buy one for $35, but like I don't hate that it exists. I think these are kind of neat like side items, and it's always interesting to see a an Optimus Prime robot that is not predominantly red. Like this by necessity has had to be a blue Optimus Prime because having to turn into Optimus Prime's head and face. Like I like non-standard expressions like that. So do we have any other thoughts on the Transformers 1 stuff before we move on? No? Good. All right, so we have a whole slew of leaks for 2025's retailer exclusives. These also just dropped today. Let me go pull that back up real quick. So we have from Target a few listings here. No character associated, but Transformers Generation Studio Series Bullseye. It looks like Bullseye might be the replacement for Buzzworthy Bumblebee as
Yeah,
a
that's what I was thinking.
yeah. The supposition with this is that it's going to be the like Ravage as Bullseye iconography like are seeing on the Target leader Optimus Prime. Um, so we don't know what character that's going to be, but there's going to be another Studio Series related leader class toy under this sub branding. There's going to be a 2-pack of Bullseye Gamer Edition Devastation Voyager Elite Seeker and Deluxe Ground Soldier, the blue car.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I know a lot. I never played Devastation. I didn't have a system to play it on.
Come
But
ahead
I've
and
heard.
battle Charger Troop Builders, Don.
Yeah, I know. That. That's what I'm saying is that I was going to ask you not knowing the game, what molds are these likely to be?
Ramjet
Come ahead
and
and the battle
Rhylock.
Charger. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was thinking that I thought they were like kind of like Throttlebot kind of looking.
I mean,
Sorta.
I can see where you would get that from. Um, like, I think one of the people who were posting this information said that they're pretty sure it's going to be the Battle Charger mold, but like
I mean,
also,
the throttle bots were pretty much just scaled down battle chargers to begin with.
yeah, pretty much. It was the same play pattern. But
Yeah, in
also, if it wouldn't be the Battle Charger mold, Legacy Chase actually maps to that body style pretty strongly, so that would be another direction that they could go with that.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of what appears in game, just Ramjet and the runabout run amok mold from the few years ago should work just fine if they cost out.
Yeah, and like the Voyager Elite Seeker is the gray variant, the Ground Soldier is blue. There is also a gold car, and a like a red jet variant, I think. There's another color variation of the Conehead troop,
Yes, there
troop
is
builder,
another
so-
possible 2-pack.
Exactly. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Could
the
that be? Could that be Selects?
I mean, it will just go wherever it lands. Like
To whatever retailer wishes to market as an exclusive.
yeah.
The question I'm more interested in at this point is, will they be cell shaded devastation style? Because that means basically they will not, uh, match basically anything else I have. But that's fine
Why
because
did
they
you
will
have to
look
put that
really
evil
neat.
into the world, Rob?
Well, I mean, the comic edition stuff that's coming out is already speaking that evil into the world and kind of gives some credence to what Rob is suggesting.
And
yeah.
we
Also,
still ain't got Grimlock.
yeah. Also, 35th anniversary anime eyebrow truck will also match this very nicely.
Yeah. Generation Studio Series Bullseye Voyager 86 Perceptor, Ramhorn, and Ratbat. So it's going to be a rerun of the Perceptor that we've already had at retail once, in a closed out 2-pack once, a re-release once, and now
Getting a
in
package refresh.
that's what I was just referring to. So this is going to be the fourth run of this in stores in some form or another, but now with presumably exclusive cassettes. Remember, we had the listing for a core class Ram Studio Series Ramhorn with core class looking like it's suffering a demise at retail. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just a way to get that mold put into service in a way that the stores will actually buy.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't be too surprised either if Ratbat ends up just being a reuse of the Siege microtape mold, because that fits the current toys the same as the Studio Series ones do. and it saves them from, having to tool up anything else. And as far as I remember, we didn't have any suggestion of a new Rat Bat coming along. So it's the most simple solution for this.
Yeah.
I mean, and that Rat Bat's a fine toy.
Yeah, no, I mean, a
It
Rat
doesn't
Bat
necessarily
doesn't,
need a new one, but
yeah, a Rat Bat doesn't need very much to actually like serve its purpose. It needs
basically
wings.
for me, this is going to be a very expensive ram horn.
Yeah, I kind of figured. For a lot of people, I think that's going to be the case because I don't think there's anybody out there at this point who did not have that Perceptor, that had any interest in that Perceptor, that does not now own that Perceptor through one of the numerous releases that has transpired.
It's a shame that the rewind eject mold is, gang molded to blaster, because
Yeah.
otherwise this would be a great way to get the other one in an opaque version without, presumably buying a second twin cast somewhere down the
Right.
line.
Who's to say that they won't do this with a blaster down the line in another set?
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Maybe if Core Class does die, maybe that's where the Steel Jaw comes out, and we get rewind there. There were multiple characters in that scene, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they do anything to that Perceptor to make it any different than what we've already gotten?
they could change the colors on it, but I don't
A little bit,
think
yeah.
that they would necessarily do that because the Studio Series one is already supposed to skew as close as possible to the animations.
So I would suspect that Perceptor came out and it had some clear plastic parts. I suspect the only change we would see is turning that opaque and making it be light blue, like on other similar toy efforts. That's probably what we'd be looking at if there's a deco change on it. We have an unnamed Bullseye Voyager and a Bullseye multi-pack to be determined later. But that'll be, the 2025 4-pack in whatever shape and theme that ends up being. I'm personally hoping that it will be another troop builder set after the, what I can only assume is wild success of last year's troop builder 4-pack. Like, somebody had to have set up and taken notice of that and started getting planning on that as soon as the slot opened up. Like,
I mean,
I'd be so
technically,
surprised.
the Devastation set is a troop builder pack.
That's true, but it's a 2-pack.
If it doesn't have cell shading on it, yes, it will be.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a troop builder pack either way. It's just a matter of if it's a troop builder pack you will buy or not. So for Walmart now, the 2025 Walmart capsule will be Galaxy Force or Cybertron themed, in celebration of its anniversary. This is not a complete listing. JT Prime thinks there's a couple more deluxes, but he can't confirm any of the product codes yet. So what we have so far is Deluxe Cybertron Sideways. I don't have any speculation off the top of my head what mold that's going to be. Cybertron Excellion, which will be a redeco of something we'll talk about in a little bit. Voyager Cybertron Skywarp, which will be a redeco of my Nemesis over here. An unnamed leader class for this capsule, which could be who knows what. Walmart will also be getting a retro-inspired capsule, but no indication of what the theme is yet, but there's 4 toys listed for that already.
The leader, it seems to me like the most obvious thing to suggest would be the Galaxy Force Siege Prime, done over in the Galaxy upgrade colors from the second half of Cybertron.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head, but that would make sense.
Unless the only other thing I could think of would be if they were going to take whatever the Thundertron is from this year's capsule and do it as Leo Breaker.
That could work.
Just give us a Cybertron Megatron.
That would be nice, actually.
Yeah, but what mold would they use? That's the problem. Like, they're not gonna use a new mold for this.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything that really lends itself to Cybertron Megatron immediately.
No.
But okay, so diecast, based on your suggestion, I'm gonna commit us to a monkey's paw here and say that's gonna be the Armada Megatron mold just in Cybertron Megatron colors. I'm just gonna doom us to the worst possible outcome for this entire thing.
I don't like that.
All right, so moving on to Amazon. Amazon's 2025 capsule will be Mayhem versus Wreckers. there should be a few more packs coming along with these two. JT will share more when he finds it. So we have a deluxe Spinister versus Twin Twist set. I assume that means it's a set of two deluxes. It is not a deluxe price point set of two toys.
That would be my assumption, yeah. And
yeah.
that, I mean, that Spinister toy is ridiculously good too. So it's nice to see, you know, people get another chance to get that. The twin twist
without the battle damage, hopefully.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the twin twist is interesting because we got the Diaclone Universe twin twist already. I'm wondering if maybe it's supposed to be top spin, or
It
like
says
if
it might
something-
be switched with top spin, so
yeah, or if something happened to the tooling for top spin and they can't use it.
Of course, the other possibility is just like if they were going to try to get Spinister back out there for people who didn't get it the first time, maybe this would be a more direct reissue of Twin Twist in the original colors for people who couldn't get that assortment either. Like, that's my supposition. Personally, it is not backed up by anything JT has said in this post, but like that is another way to look at this. Like, my personal hope, since I have all of these toys and want more things, is that yes, it would actually end up being top spin instead in Diaclone based colors like the previous Wrecker Twin Twist we got. But basically anything, like there's other colorways they can put on Twin Twist too that I would like to see. So
Yeah,
there's
the Argentine colors.
there's honestly not a bad outcome that I can really envision with this set, because either people are going to get a normal colors Twin Twist to complete a set that they've been trying to do at a reasonable price for years and years, or we're going to get some additional alternate decos, or we're going to complete the set that Amazon started 2 years ago. Like, there's not a bad outcome here that I can envision. We're going to get Iron Fist versus Carnivac. So that's retool of Siege Hound and Weird Wolf, respectively.
Yeah, I have been
Weird Wolf.
asking, like championing for years to do that Siege Hound as Iron Fist. So thank God, finally, like especially when they did as Cybertron Defense Hot Shot first. Like I was a little incensed.
That toy is so pretty as
got it.
Cybertron
Good
Defense
toy.
Hot Shot, though.
Excellent toy. It is, but it's just eating at me for years. So I'm like, what? Iron Fist is right there. Like the mold is perfect for it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll get a new head on it. I hope they do some kind of light former cannon for it. But
yeah, that'd be nice.
I just hope that whatever the retools are for Carnivac, they're something that stops the mold from obliterating itself.
Yeah.
that's yeah.
And it would just be nice.
Well, that's certainly going to be an edit point. Right. So, we have some Pulse exclusives now. The SDC and PulseCon exclusives are separate from what's coming out already this year, is Dino King and another 2-pack. So, a Skybound Comics Jetfire, Derek, and Solila 3-pack, which probably I would assume is going to be using the Commander Jetfire tooling, and that had the ability to have Titan Masters sit in some compartments in it. So the two others might be figures, either Titan Masters themselves or figures of the same scale, basically, to fit in the cockpit and the backpack piece.
I'll take more Titan Masters. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think we'd all take more Titan Masters, yeah. I mean, that's why we're all so excited for Squeeze Play, right?
Yep.
What else do we have here? Okay, so PulseCon direct-to-consumer Hearts of Steel set. Maybe Bumblebee and Optimus?
Yes.
I like that they're doing that.
Yes. The Mastermind creation of Optimus does have its flaws.
The first run does. The
first
second
run-
one,
yeah,
the second one.
But that is a really unique take on Optimus, and
Yeah.
I am all for a new incarnation of both of those because I have the third-party version of both.
Yeah, I've got the Nemesis colored version of the Optimus, and like it's a cool design, and the Nemesis one is the best because it's colored like a real train. Like it's got that cast iron color and everything. And
Yeah.
like hopefully if this is something like that, that they will follow up with a Nemesis version and I could have that twice in like a really pretty like dark metal color scheme.
I just can't believe they're going back. I've always enjoyed Hearts of Steel, and I love the designs, but them going back to it, that is a deep cut. I would expect it from this design group, but that's deep even for me.
Mhm.
And can you imagine getting a leader class Shockwave in his paddle boat Ironclad? Oh my gosh, that would be like free unlimited Velveeta for the rest of my life.
It's gonna kill you in 5 years.
A death sentence?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Something
Ah.
something I enjoy force fed to me, and I'll be glad to eat it all. But I mean, Hearts of Steel, that's awesome.
You know, Supreme Cheetor is remarkably close to the color of Velveeta.
Don't ruin this for me. Do not, no. Just no.
So what do you think for Prime? Siege Astrotrain partial or
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's the only thing that's kind of got the right alt mode shape. I mean, they could always do something like really off the wall with a mold choice and surprise us, and obviously that's always my hope.
oh yeah.
But yeah, like either that or like boy, if they want to get like really extensive and creative with a retool, like find a way to do it off of Laser Optimus again.
They could.
Like just make the trailer the whole front end of the train, the whole boiler section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean
It's sort
there's definitely ways they could go about this, but yeah, unfortunately, I think the Astro Train thing is probably more likely.
it's sort of like that third party Cyclonus that they repainted and turned around from the back to
Oh, and
make
made
depth
Depth
charge.
Charge. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was New Age
New
or
Age.
yeah, yeah. We have some collaborative listings. The only one that has a specific identity put on it is Collab Blue, which is called Sonic Collab 2-pack.
Hmm.
I don't know how you cross over Sonic the Hedgehog with Transformers, but apparently at some point in the near future, we're going to learn.
Blur.
Yes, yes, you make Sonic out of Blur.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotta go fast.
The collab black, is that Knight Rider?
No, that's Project Knight. That's coming this year. These listings are for next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have Collab Black, Collab Sword, Collab HW 1 through 4, all as separate listings, and Collab FTW, which I can only
Okay.
assume means faster than white.
Okay. Is anyone else getting an idea with these collab Hot Wheels 1 through 4?
Oh, do you think it's Hot Wheels?
Spy Changers, some Mattel collaboration with Mattel to have Spy Changers that look like Hot Wheels cars.
Well, I mean, Spy Changers already did look like Hot Wheels cars.
I mean,
Yeah.
And I think Hank is killing Don, so we'll have to wait for him to finish his thought here. But yeah, I hadn't
No,
considered that
that's a
being
leg cramp.
I hadn't considered that being Hot Wheels, but that makes sense, especially since there's 4 of them. Those would be smaller things, and yeah, that kind of.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, if that does get us something like Spy Changers back again, I'd be a very happy boy because I loved Spy Changers. I
Hmm.
kind of love them, as the, Spy Changer characters specifically, but they were the coolest little just fidget toys either way. Um, which just kind of leaves collab FTW to try to figure out what that would stand for because I'm honestly at a loss for what that could possibly mean.
That's Unicron. So it stands for F the world
Yeah,
because
that,
he's
yeah,
just gonna
that's
eat it.
the Transformers AEW crossover. That's what that is.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then we have some Takara based listings here, um, which are noted as being Hasbro imports, no numbers assigned yet. So I guess these are going to be Takara initiatives that Hasbro will bring over. But we have Legacy Armada Super Starscream, which is Armada Thundercracker, and Voyager, Transformers 7, Nemesis Prime, and Transformers 7 is Rise of the Beasts.
Is it?
I believe that's how that works. For internal purposes, they are contiguously numbered. So
There,
Bumblebee is 6, and
Well, Takara
Not
does
the
tend to do a Nemesis Prime for pretty much every movie Optimus
Yeah,
Prime mold
yeah.
to get a hold of, so that makes sense.
I was gonna say though, not to, spoil the movie, hopefully everyone saw it that wants to, but there was no Nemesis Prime in that movie, so why do we need a
because they
Nemesis
have
Prime?
Black repaint diecast.
Yeah, they have an Optimus Prime mold. It has not yet been made black and teal with red windows. So they're going to make it black and teal with red windows so that all is right with the world.
Mm-hmm.
That all's not right.
And I mean
There
they
must
have
be balance.
yeah, they
Yeah.
have to catch up because, last night had a Nemesis Prime where since they never did one with a voice chip, they can't actually replicate it because it's just Optimus Prime saying, I am Nemesis Prime over and over.
I think they did technically release a Nemesis Prime version and they just skewed the colors a little bit more toward the purple side.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, so like they did actually make a distinct release of that, but it's just not, traditional Nemesis Prime colors because the movie couldn't even get that right. Oh, that movie. So I will echo JT Prime's caveat with this, since we've gone through this whole thing. JT Prime usually does not publish these listings this early. These came through different sources that released them at this point. These are early enough that things could be changed or dropped. So if the details change or something doesn't materialize next year, don't be surprised.
Card subject to change.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Hasbro China revealed Movie Masterpiece 15 Brawl.
I like it.
Yeah, I kind of figured
What a
you would,
surprise.
right?
Well, I never got the leader brawl. That became very hard to get and
Oh
very
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't really down for Bone Crusher. But Brawl, I kind of like it. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Yeah, I think it looks good too.
I'm
Yeah.
not buying one, but it looks fine.
Yeah, not my thing, but it looks pretty good in both modes. So
Like I think this out of any of the movie masterpieces, I think this will get play from like general movie collectors. Because being an Abrams battle tank, like even as a masterpiece, it's going to look good with the Studio Series toys. It's going to have the imposing height and heft to it that you might want for your display. He's going to be the biggest Decepticon on the shelf, and people are going to want that whether they're masterpiece collecting or just mainline collecting, basically for the movie. So I think out of all of them, this has the most like cross collector appeal here. Um, that said, I still imagine that it's going to discount heavily on Target after 3 months because they all
Hey,
have.
that's what I'll wait for, honestly.
But this has the misfortune of being the second most interesting tank that premiered this week because you can't drive this one around and shoot missiles at cats with it. So what are you gonna do? Sam Smith did post a bunch of follow-ups to this on his Instagram. Very likely one of the last like major deep dives we're gonna see from him since he has moved on from the Transformers brand over into Play School, I believe. I'm not going to try to summarize all the stuff he posted. There's like 6 different posts. TFW collected the content of those posts and consolidated them into one article. So you can head over and read that. It's linked in our show notes, tfradio.net/880. But yeah, there's some good insights there. There's a lot of the design material, the visual design materials that go along with that, including some of the height charts that they used developing the toy. So a lot of good stuff there to go along with this. So
It's
we
interesting that
go ahead.
someone from Hasbro was actually working on this because from some from some of the things I heard is the masterpieces, especially like the MTMs and stuff, were always like Takara initiatives.
Yeah, I mean, I know Masterpiece in general is a Takara side thing, but I imagine Hasbro probably got involved with the movie Masterpieces because that's something like more than G1 cartoon masterpieces. This is something that they feel they can probably market strongly in their parts of the world. So they're going to get involved and just kind of make sure that what it is suits where they're selling the toys to instead of having to do like they did with the Datsun imports. If you remember that, where when those came out through Toys R Us, they were like $70 or $80. They were like way higher
Oh, yeah.
priced versus getting the Japanese versions because of how they were designed and how they had to be sold here. So I think they're kind of trying to get involved to prevent a repeat of something like that again. But Brawl does finish out the 2007 Decepticon cast and maybe the 2007 movie cast in general. I kind of lost track a little bit over the years. But like it's hard to say like, where is Movie Masterpiece going to go from this? Is it going to start diving more into like the characters exclusive to the later sequels? Would we get like a Movie Masterpiece Lockdown at some point, for instance? Or is it going to, take a little bit of a breather after this because they have finally finished out one full set of characters? And I'm sure a lot of that is going to have to do too with, is Target going to continue to carry them after they fulfill their obligation to this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a leak happen of Legacy United Cybertron Hot Shot, and I fear getting burned again because I said this about Starscream when we first saw it, but this looks really, really nice.
I agree.
Yeah, and
It
it
does.
scales pretty much 1-to-1 with the original toy, I think, too.
Which is bizarre. Yeah, so in one of these sets of photos, it's standing side by side with Studio Series 86 Hot Rod, which it is like completely on par with volumetrically, and also with Legacy Sideburn, which it just absolutely dwarfs. Both of them are deluxe toys, and it just makes the one look so sad and miserable, much like
More
me.
so than it already did.
Yeah. It really, like, I looked at that picture and it just so reinforces how I was assessing how I was assessing their treatment of Robots in Disguise 2001. Like, that's just that Cyber is such a second class toy compared to what they're doing with Cybertron. I don't want to rehash that topic, but like, boy, did that drive that home for me. Um, so when I saw these, it was in advance of JT Prime and the others going through the 2025 exclusive stuff. I was already thinking, okay, I have the Cybertron Defense Hotshot colored Hound. I think what I will do is wait for an Exilion recolor of this mold, so I have something that's a little bit different. And lo and behold, that's coming in the 2025 Walmart capsule. So like, yes, I think I will do just that because that just works perfectly.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, this does look really good. And honestly, if another 30% off Target sale comes up like it did recently, and I have the chance to grab this colorway for, 15, $16, like, yeah, I'm gonna just do that anyway, because it does look really good. But I'm not gonna try to like jump on it the first possible chance like I did with Starscream. I've learned better with the Cybertron updates for
Hey,
now.
sorry about that.
You're right, Don.
Yeah, I just had a massive leg cramp in the back of my thigh.
Mhm.
Oh, I hate that.
So I had to take a baclofen, and I just took mega doses of mustard for the turmeric. Yes, it was turmeric. So I'm okay. I'm all right. I apologize. I want to talk about the brawl, but that's okay.
What do you think about Legacy United Cybertron Hot Shot, Don?
It's a hot shot. I'm sorry. It's just
Uh,
I just again it's nowhere near close to Supreme Cheetor level. But other than I've got that version as Breakaway, which was the Walmart get version for Getaway.
yeah.
I wish I hadn't bought that more than that one. It's just one of them figures. It's like I kind of wish I hadn't bought it. It just
Well-
doesn't do anything for me
Well, maybe
anymore.
you'll like this one better since it's
Yeah.
designed like a modern toy, more posable and looks super
Yeah.
faithful visually to the original.
Like you, I mean, I think it looks great. It'll be interesting to see which one I would pick up versus the blue versus the red, for the if I want to wait another year or heck, it could be out next week with the way
This
everything's
is one of
going.
those toys
Yeah.
where there's no shortage of color choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
at
I
least
mean, I
three.
think for looking like the character, it looks great.
Mhm.
Is it one of those like you? Am I going to rush out and get it? It's like because my GameStop has that Starscream right now on the shelf.
Yeah.
And I remember you were saying it's just not a good toy, and it's like I just don't know how this one's going to be, but I don't think I'm going to run right out and get it as soon as it hits the floor.
Mhm. All right, so real quick, we have photos and design notes from Mark Mayer on his Instagram for the Prime Cliff Jumper from the Target 4-pack that's coming out this summer. Pretty much, the normal good photography you expect and the kind of the little bit of background insight. Um, the design process for Cliff Jumpers head for the Legacy mold kind of follows the path that we've seen before, where they start with the original Prime design and add a nose to it. So if you're interested in that, that's up on the Instagram. And then finally, we have DNA design add-ons revealed for Legacy Animated Optimus Prime to turn him into the full it is designed more like Wingblade Optimus Prime from the end of the show, but in DNA's pictures, they're also kind of showing the Power Master Optimus Prime concept from what would have been season 4 as seen in the Allspark Almanac. So I think they're kind of trying to hit a little bit of both with this. I
Yeah,
gotta say, it looks pretty damn good.
It really does.
it does. I went ahead and pre-ordered it when it went up because I actually went out because when I went to that GameStop yesterday, they had another animated Optimus and they had that Starscream, and I thought I'll need a second animated Optimus for that DNA design kit. So it's like I went ahead and picked it up instead of the Starscream because that looks really great, and it'll have the trailer.
Yeah, I'm interested in it. Holding off for the moment, but like I haven't made a decision yet because we know there's a battle masked head for that animated Optimus Prime, and I am curious to see what that's going to end up on.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because the DNA kit does not seem to include an option to get a mask on the face either. Um, I've heard rumblings that the complete package of add-ons to do this might be in like the $60 range. And I mean it's a pretty extensive set of parts, so I'm not surprised by that, but it is kind of giving me pause. I have not picked up the animated Optimus so far, and like if I wanted to have this fully kitted out thing, like I'm looking at about $100 of cost to do that, and it just sounds a little steep to me. Like it, if I had the Optimus already anyway, I'd probably feel a little bit different. But like at this point, it feels like, yeah, I'm dropping that whole cost for this one purpose rather than I have this toy. I'm going to make it better by spending a little bit more money.
Well,
It works different in my head.
yeah, I mean, I totally get that. The thing is, though, if DNA does not go back and add the battle mask to this set, I'm sure another third party company will make just the battle mask to capitalize on that oversight.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, if there's not an easy way to stick the mask onto the existing head, like I think we'd probably end up seeing it in the form of just outright a replacement head for the mold, which could introduce its own problems depending who makes it, because head sculpts are not the easiest thing to get to look right. Third parties had that problem for ages and ages, and like the companies that are still prevalent today have largely figured that out and generally are producing like characterful head sculpts, but it's still always a risk, especially if some smaller operation steps up to try to fill that gap.
Yeah, I was very lucky to get Wingblade Optimus from Japan for a very decent price at the time. I think off
Mhm.
Manadrake. But this kit, I think, really, I can't see Hasbro doing a version of this that wouldn't be close in price to the figure and the kit itself. At
I could
least,
see at leader price point that they would probably use the battle mask alternate parts and have some kind of a wing backpack add-on and the hammer. Like I think they could probably fit that into a leader price point. It would not be everything that this kit is, but it would also be, close to half the price that the fully upgraded version is going to be. So, you kind of have to just pick and choose your battles. All right, let's move on to what we got because we're already running late here. Diecast, why don't you go first?
Okay, awesome. Well, the big item I'm saving for next week because I told Brian I would. I got deluxe shard. I didn't transform him. I'm not
Her.
yeah, I didn't transform her. I'm not in love with her. Um
I'm sure your wife will be happy to hear that.
yeah. Uh I got Lunar Optimus Prime. I didn't transform that yet, but I'm super happy that it finally showed up. That was
Are
one
you
of the
are you
figures.
are you over the moon for it?
I am over the moon, and that was one of the figures that I ordered on deep discount, so it just randomly shows up.
oh no,
Um,
it showed up.
yeah, it showed up. And then I got another Panu Omega Supreme.
Oh, it's
Um,
Green?
green.
it's green, and
I
Why
like
is
you
it
that.
know
green?
I don't know, but my friend Mike Kincaid, who does like reflector files on Facebook and stuff, I was on his podcast once. Um, he pointed it out that it's in Philadelphia Eagles colors, and I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan because I live in Philadelphia. And I was like, yeah, it is. It is Philadelphia Eagles Omega Supreme, so I had to get it.
Well,
Okay, at least you had a reason.
despite that unfortunate connection, it looks good.
Yeah, it
I
is.
actually think there was an ACOM coloring error, which is a shock, that had them in green in a background situation, I think. So
Sure, probably.
that may be where they got the color from.
Well, to me, it's Philadelphia Eagles Omega Supremes, so it works for me.
The
Um,
animated All Spark Almanac also had Omega Supreme in many colors.
Yeah.
yeah. And then the last thing I got, I picked up today from Nick the Toy Guy. I got Viper, not the
Oh,
one
that's
that
It
cleans
is
the
a
windows,
very
but
large fireflight.
yeah.
yeah,
Wow. So now that was Firefly the one that was not including the rest of the Superion, or was that the one with is this which one comes with the rest of the Superion?
the one that comes with the rest of the Superion is the last one, which
Slingshot.
I believe Slingshot, which is Jester, and he'll be coming out in July, I believe, is what they said, because
Because he
these two parts on the hips here are actually wrong. They're supposed to be blue. And apparently it's going to come with the final jet, the replacement pieces, but these are pinned. So I don't know how you would replace these other than maybe yeah, I don't know how you would
maybe they're
replace
just
these.
overlay parts they just slide over like
There
a
are
clip.
two clear tabs that you might be able to push them out.
That would seem the most
Um,
likely thing.
Yeah.
but I don't want to try it because I don't
Because you're
know if
gonna break
there's
it, yeah.
also any glue in there kind of holding them in. So I'll wait till I get the replacement pieces, but all their jets are really nice. And, it's been way too long since we've gotten another Fans Toys jet because I've had the first two for forever.
Years.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is only the third. It feels like we should be done, but we're not. Um, but it's just, you know, I still love what Fans Toys doing, and these jets are great. So happy to have it.
Now,
Uh,
Diecast, I want to ask you this. I watched Bobby's video about when those were announced and the price increases and stuff. Do you feel like that to complete that set, it's worth those prices versus what the first three, not counting Silverbolt? I mean, do you feel like the price increase is worth it for that figure?
I don't have a problem with the price
Yeah, I
for
think you're asking the wrong person here, Don.
I know,
this
but
figure.
I'm just saying this a jet like that compared to when Air Raid and Skydive came out was significantly higher than they were 2 to 3 years ago. So that's why I was asking.
I'll tell you what I do have a problem with is the price of the final jet, which is basically just, whatever, an arm or a leg. It's not like it's a Silverbolt. It's just an arm or leg and the combiner pieces, and it's $400.
Ooh,
That's well, see, that
jeez.
was the problem. Is like Jester, Fireflight was $299. Slingshot and the rest of the pieces to make their Superion was $399. And that was a discussion on several people's channels when they were announced, because that Superion has been in limbo for a good 2 to 3 years at this point.
There's been a
Yeah,
discussion in our Discord too, when that information came out, tfradio.net/Discord.
yeah, the
Some people were
fourth
debating
one
selling
to
off
me is,
their pieces they already have.
you know what? If I needed the money, I would sell them off. If I
Mhm.
didn't need the money, but I really didn't want to spend the additional, I would just keep the two jets that I have and enjoy them
Mhm.
as individual figures. Um, but I really want to see what a Fans Toys combiner ends up being.
Well, it's got to be
So,
right in writing,
Expensive.
right?
yeah.
Plus, look how long Dead End has not come out. I still think there's going to be issues with they're trying to overcome issues with the combiner stability, because Dead End is even it's been even longer on him than it has been the aerial bots.
Dead End always knew that he would ruin the project.
It's been so long, I don't even know what came first. If it was one of the jets or one of the Menasor components. I don't know. They've both taken way too long.
All right, got
But
anything else, Diecast?
no, that's it that I know of.
Matt, how about you?
Yes, I did something stupid.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
nice.
Turn my video back on here. So I've been watching an eBay listing or Amazon listing for a while. I also clued Rob in on this because I knew it was something he was looking for, but I got a third Titan class Guardian robot.
Oh, how much
Nice.
was it?
Down to 160 on Amazon now.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, not the clearance prices we got on Pulse, but
Right.
it is down significantly from what they were originally listed on Amazon. So I have three of the same Titan now. You're welcome, Hasbro.
You are single-handedly keeping that price point alive, sir. I applaud you.
Yes, I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
So now I have one to be a Dark Guardian for my Quintessential.
Ah, I see.
Nice.
Yes, and because that was $160, that's the only thing I got this week on topic.
Good on you then. John DeLuna,
I actually didn't get anything on topic, so I'm good.
Rob Clay.
Thanks to Don, when we were sitting around talking post show last week, I found out that Target had Origins Wheeljack in stock for shipping. So I got that. That's basically the only thing I got on, this week on or off topic. I decided against the Guardian robot because I was sitting there going, I think I can afford it once I get paid, but where the hell do I put it? And
Yes.
I did not
I
have an
enough
answer for
both of
this.
us.
But I do appreciate you letting me know about that, Matt. But yeah, Wheeljack,
They're still on there if you change your mind.
okay. If it goes maybe a little lower, I might just. But Wheeljack is really nice. It does a really good job of not being frustrating to handle, despite the fact that it is my least favorite kind of transformer. It is a big pile of panels that turns into a, nice shelly box. But I think I wish you could open the back hatch without having to like untab it, but that is about the only complaint I have. It is really a very nice figure. I'm going to have to dig up Origins Bumblebee wherever I put him, like 73 years ago when he came out or whenever. And finally going to have to get that Jazz. But yeah, it does have a little bit of an issue with one of the little whatever you'd call them, flame dispersing fan things on the front of the
Those
car.
are the Dominator discs.
Okay, yeah. They do not quite want to stay on the front of the car. So I'm going to have to just take a little bit of acrylic clear, I think, and paint one of those pegs a little bit to thicken it up. But otherwise, that's the only issue I've had with it, and it looks really good.
Cool. Don wanted to go last for on topic, so I will talk briefly about Legacy Sandstorm, which I got the day after the show last week. Perfectly timed as all things are. My quick thoughts on it are I like all three of the modes. It is the rare triple changer where no one mode suffers in any noticeable way for the other two, so that's really amazing to me. I do not have the problem in the robot mode so much where the chest will release when you try to move the arms at all. I
good.
can actually get the tab in enough for like a normal level of posing with the arms. If I do like very much, if I wrench on it very much, it will come out like all the other ones do, but it does have just enough tab tension to hold itself together. So it's not like a reveal the shield Jazz situation where there's literally nothing you can do to help this. There is the possibility of like good QC copies. Um, the robot mode actually looks a lot better in hand than I think the pictures were conveying. The
Yeah.
feet don't look that stupid. The backpack does not look that big. Like the proportions work a lot better when you're looking at the actual toy. So I appreciate that a lot. I am very happy that the helicopter rotor actually has like a slot with a catch on it to secure the whole folded up rotor, so it's not just dancing around the back of the toy when it's standing around as a robot. That's really good too. Like just overall, it's really solid design work. It looks really nice in all three modes. The one thing that I don't like is just that the transformation is a little bit fiddlier than I was hoping for it to be. And
Especially going into helicopter mode.
The two main problems I had going into the dune buggy mode, you have to like compress the rotor in against the underbody of the dune buggy so that the wheels can actually all touch the ground. And on my copy, at least, it is super, super difficult to get that to unclick from its extended position, to the point where I actually have marks on my thumb from when I was trying to push down on that. I kind of sort of found that if you like tilt it one way or the other, you can get it to move past that point a little bit easier. But like, it definitely feels like this should not be this difficult kind of thing, and the instructions were no help in surmounting that problem. I actually had to partly disassemble the toy. I had to take the whole rotor unit off to get a better look at what was going on there to figure out what to do with it. So, that was a bit of a special challenge. And then just getting it to go into helicopter mode, the things that it mostly needed to do are really like intuitively obvious. What was not so much was how to fold the like inner structure of the robot torso so it compresses far enough in to let those other actions happen. So like it all does work. It just I would have liked it to be a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more self-helping than it ultimately ended up being. But like I don't want to mislead because I still really like this. I'm really happy with how it turned out. And as I get to spend more time with this and, these processes become more muscle memory, I'm going to forget the trouble I had with it at the early stage. And I'm just going to enjoy this for being what it is. the rare, just straight up good triple changer that does not have any real compromises.
Yeah, I think his helicopter mode is probably my favorite of the three. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely the cleanest look. Hey Mickey on his Blue Sky was talking about the dune buggy mode and how it looked like the vehicle was kind of existing in two separate planes. And I can see what he means there, but it's
Mhm.
another one of those things like it doesn't bug me that much in practice, even though I can see it very distinctly because he was calling it out. Um, but yeah, the helicopter definitely comes off better, and honestly, that's the alt mode I more associate Sandstorm with anyway, just like with Springer. So if one of them had to be distinctly cleaner, nicer, more fully formed than the other, it would be this one. But like neither alt mode is bad. I want to reinforce that as much as I can. Also, I want to point out too, the capture cage thing, it's a neat extra. The real star though is the winch that it attaches to, because it's got the string on it. You can wind it back up and let it you can pull it back out, but it's 5 millimeter posts on either end, so the winch can be handheld. It can be attached to any of the hard points, and the end of the winch, instead of having a hook at the 5 millimeter point, so you can attach it to basically any other toy and have Sandstorm hauling around gears, for instance. Like you can attach it to just about anything that has a standard port, and like it adds a ton of play value to this, and it's just a lot of fun. You can have Sandstorm grappling with other toys. It's a really cool little simple extra. Um, the other thing that I could have done without, honestly, is the tires being the separate like silicone pieces or whatever PVC they're using for this. Um, and that's largely to do with the folding them up under the helicopter, the rear wheels. Just because when you're trying to level them out, like you're just as much kind of trying to push the tires off of the rims, and it just doesn't feel that nice. It would have been served perfectly adequately with normal solid plastic wheels without the removable tire parts.
I
And
didn't have any issues folding them under the helicopter
well, that's
with
good.
mine. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, just like as I try to level them out, I can feel the tires kind of trying to push out where I'm having to apply pressure to pivot those hinges. Um, so I mean, I like that Mark and the other designers are trying to put in like neat little detail extras, including like textural extras like this on things that need it, like Beachcomber and Sandstorm's dune buggies. Like it's a cool extra, but in this case, I would probably been a little bit happier with the toy just with normal plastic tires. It doesn't take away anything. It's just kind of as to use Vangelis's word, a hand feel thing with the toy. But no, I'm really really happy with this, and of course it's bright orange, so I love it that much more. And that's what I got on topic this week. So of course, off topic, what we got are exclusive to our patrons. If you want to sign up for our Patreon, oh, I'm
We've
sorry,
so
Don. I'm sorry, Don. You don't usually go after whoever is hosting, so I apologize for that. Please go ahead, and we will not make yours patron exclusive.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to go last because I haven't had a chance to really open anything that I got, so I figured maybe y'all had already gotten them. Starting off, I got a Retrax from Walmart.com for $6.91 shipped.
Good.
So I figured he'll look good on the wall for $7.
Mm-hmm.
oh dang, nice.
Yep. Thanks to Arctic Storm on Twitter, I got a really good price on a loose and complete Rodimus Cronus.
Oh, cool.
I have one boxed, and he looks so awesome in the box. I never wanted to open him, and I thought I'll get one later. Well, there was no later. They all vanished, but I got this one for $30 shipped.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
even
And
even when Walmart had those in, they only clearance down to about 39, as I remember.
yeah, and so he just looks so good in the box. I never wanted to open it, and so I've got one loose now to put on the shelf. I also got the antithesis of Sandstorm. I got Concept Art Megatron, who I feel
Oh, I
both
see.
of his alt modes were sacrificed for the robot mold.
Yes.
But I did get it on the 6 months on my Amazon card, so I'm only paying $8 a month, something like that. And the robot mode does look really good. So, but yeah, I just feel like him and Sandstorm are polar opposites.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his two alt modes were sacrificed for the robot mode. So But again, he's going to look really good on the shelf. The other thing I got was one last troop builder.
Is it
I
another
too
Steel Clan robot? Because this is
no
not the segment. Oh, I see.
Omega Guardian. Although I was able to Dononomics him a little bit better down to 115.
Nice.
Because I had $25 on Amazon from another misshipped G.I. Joe figure that wasn't what I ordered. I'm having the worst luck with some of these figures. But also, the people on the Carnival cruise that did our honeymoon registry sent me an Amazon survey for $20.
Oh, cool.
And I got it. So basically, after everything being equal, I got them for, with tax, maybe 120.
Nice.
And that's my third one. So I'm done. I am done with Omega, but I think he'll look good. The last thing I got on topic, and I really wanted to open him, thanks to GameStop, of all places, Autobots United 5-pack.
Ah, yes.
They had them in stock. I had about $6 worth of reward points, so I got it for like 109, which is the Hasbro Pulse price.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got free shipping as well, and I don't have to wait till July.
Right.
Have not had a chance to open them, obviously. Looking forward to getting a Hound. Again, we've got all these, but not having the clear plastic on Jazz.
Yeah.
Having a better colored Sunstreaker,
Mm-hmm.
the Hound, the Wheeljack. I'm torn on the Wheeljack because of the windshield.
Yeah.
And I'll take another Trailbreaker. My brain wants to say that's a different color gray than the original, but I'd have to pull out my Trailbreaker is one of my low key favorite Autobots. Like Trax or something. He didn't get a lot of episodes like Trax did, but I've always loved Trailbreaker. So I wanted to open them up, didn't get a chance to, but that's what I got on topic this week.
Oh, bad news, Don. Retract is down to 526 on Walmart now.
That's okay. I mean, that's not gonna bother. Return authorization. Never.
All right. So, as I was saying, before I so rudely tried to omit Don, our off-topic what we got are exclusive to our patrons. If you want to become a patron, head over to patreon.com/tfradio and sign up. Don, why don't we start with you since I was so mean to you just now?
Well, that's fine. The only two things I got off topic was both.
Did you get another Steel Clan robot?
No. I'm done. Unless I find one super duper dirt cheap, I have 7. I'm good. Unless both Target and GameStop got in the retro carded Joes, I picked up Scarlet last week. This week, I think I mentioned I found Scarlet last week on the retro card. At Target, I found Duke. And that's a really good looking Duke. And I don't have a classified Duke because he, for some reason, goes for stupid money that I've seen right now. Other than that, that's all I've found off topic.
Matt, do you have any off topics or did Omega eat them too?
No, I had something that I paid for quite some time ago come in. So I got the Shoto Super Kits that I buy. I got the Chojin Sentai Jetman team this week.
Nice.
Love these sets. They're absolutely wonderful. This one even comes with the Dune buggy, the red Dune buggy that Red Hawk uses the cannon. Now, naturally, the scale is off because it's scaled to be the cannon and not the Dune buggy. But,
yeah,
the fact that it's the giant team finishing weapon is in there. It's nice. Yeah, love these toys. Love the show. So that's it for me this week.
Hey, Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
yeah, I know. We'll cover that when we get out of the off topic since this is the Patreon exclusive segment. So, John DeLuna.
Yes. So I had a minor oopsie this week. I keep a Google Doc checklist of all of the Toy Fair catalogs and toy literature that I have collected over the years to avoid situations like this. But obviously I did not reference my own reference material when I was looking at eBay, and I saw a really cheap 1987 Tyco Toy Fair catalog. It was super cheap. And I thought to myself, wait, don't I have like a complete 80s collection of Tyco catalogs? The heck with it. I'll buy it. Lo and behold, yes, I do have a 1987. Now I have two. Now I own two 1987 Tyco catalogs. I
It
can't
was a
remember
good
the
year.
last.
It's fine.
It was a good year. It was a great year. I can't remember the last time I looked at that catalog. So when I got the second one in, great, fine. I'll flip through it, see if there's anything I've forgotten about. And there was. So just real quick, story time with John. What I really like, I don't collect vintage toys. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I do really like these catalogs because I can experience all the many failed and short-lived toy lines of the 80s and the 90s, of which there were many. So the one that really caught my eye in the Tyco catalog is Rocket Rollers. And if you've never heard of Rocket Rollers, don't worry. It was incredibly short-lived. It is what you get when you cross Masters of the Universe with roller derby and body horror, and try to present that to kids as
That's
the next
not
big
where I
thing.
expected that to be going.
So what they are you can think of like basically Motu style figures, muscle men that look pretty much like Motu figures, but right below the knee, their legs turn into cars. So they just look like guys who have lost the lower half of their legs, and they've been replaced with cars instead of feet. And they're motorized, and they're roller derby style motif kind of characters, and they're really weird looking. And as you would expect, one of the characters is named Hot Shot. Hey, by the way, um, did not last more than like a year, if that. They are, as you would expect, incredibly expensive and hard to find now. So they're super rare. And there's only like a couple on eBay right now that are in package, and they're like $200, right? At least like a piece. So, and I can't even
Man.
find records of like sold ones. That they're just rare. They just don't like exist anymore. So, look them up. Rocket Rollers. You can just Google image search pictures of this catalog. I think it's super interesting. Again, He-Man crossed with roller derby, crossed with like horrific body horror, made by Tyco, of course. So very interesting trip down 80s toy history. Check it out. It's why I collect these catalogs, and I thought it was really cool.
Hey, John,
Cool.
is 87 the year the Tycho train came out, or was that a different year?
For Transformers, that's a good question. No, I think the Tycho train came out pretty early, so like 85, maybe 86.
Yeah, that sounds right to
Um,
me. But
yeah, it came out like really like almost right away. They had that license,
80,
so that was pretty
85
soon.
sounds right to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob, what'd you get from Surigaya this week?
nothing, because they didn't have a free
Oh,
shipping
that's
sale.
right.
Yeah, they're for some reason they delayed their free shipping sale until the middle of the week. It is in fact still going, but I will have a couple of things next week. So
Damn, my clever lead-in was wasted.
Guess what I'm doing tonight?
Yeah, I may have already taken a look at Surigaya this week just in case. Diecast, what do you have off topic? You're muted for one thing.
That's good because I got nothing off topic this week.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't either, so I think we're done with that. So again, off topic, what we got are exclusive to our patrons, patreon.com/tfradio. However, not exclusive to our patrons is another piece of breaking news that just dropped. I'm gonna try to throw these files into our internal chat for at least Matt's sake, because you're not usually in the Discord. If I can remember where I put them. So we have our first pictures of Legacy Rock Lord adjacent Nucleus, which is a retool of the first one. Uh, the heck was its name?
Boulder Crash.
Magnius.
That's one or the other. Anyway, this is a pretty extensive reshelling of this. It's a rock with rockets.
well, I mean,
You're muted again, Diecast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said rocket.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, once you're two truck made of rock anyway, it doesn't really matter how weird you go from there. It's anything goes once you get to rock formed vehicles. I think.
I mean, yeah, probably so. I don't think you're completely incorrect on that. So I mean, I've kind of made the blanket decision to just not engage with the rock vehicle play pattern for Legacy, and I'm gonna stick with that. But like, I have to admit, they kind of made something like wacky, ridiculous enough that I would have at least otherwise been interested in it. And this is the first one I've really felt that way about.
I am kind of waiting for markdown for the various rock things, but that I that does look pretty good.
I mean, that's true. I guess I can't 100% guarantee if like next winter at Ross I see these for $7 to $10 each that I wouldn't maybe grab some of them. But like I have no active intent in going rocks deep on these.
Mm.
There is one more thing I wanted to mention before we move on to
Ending the show.
ending the show.
Yeah,
Yes.
because that's about the point we're at here, and boy, it's been a long time coming.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I saw on Facebook, I don't know where, but what appeared to be new instructions showed up on that prototype Unicron that we never got on how to transform it, and the gun, apparently it came with a gun that would double as a stand in planet mode.
Yeah,
It,
interesting.
it's really interesting that, now all of a sudden instructions have popped up. Would
Well,
any of you guys support a HasLab to make that original prototype Unicron come to life?
I'd be very tempted, quite honestly.
I truthfully, I think I'd have to say no. Um, because like while I would support in one sense trying to revive such a thing, I don't think I could, in good conscience to myself, pay the money that I know it would necessarily have to cost to exist.
And we do, and this is a strange choice of words, we do have the Super 7 Unicron.
It doesn't transform.
No, it doesn't.
No, but it does look pretty good.
But I just feel like as much as the prototype Unicron keeps popping up and keeps popping up, and now we got new, or not new, but now we have the instructions for it, or the transformation sequence, which basically the same thing. I don't think I'd put it past them now for them to try and recreate this toy.
Okay, so here's the compromise I'm willing to make with you, Diecast. Not a HasLab to produce a version of the original unproduced toy. Instead, I will give you Studio Series 86 Concept Art Edition with a leader or commander class unproduced Unicron.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Can we bump up to Titan class?
We'll workshop that, but just a properly, posable modern toy, fully based on the original concept for the Unicron toy. So stands distinct from HasLab Unicron and anything else that came before it, but it, scratches an itch for those of us who are into the, unproduced toy.
I would
realm of
love,
things.
I would love to find a way to own that one day, but not as a HasLab.
Right. Okay, and with that, well, let's quickly wrap up the show here before Diecast thinks of anything else. So everybody should go and sign up to be a patron. It's literally what keeps the show going week to week, or week after week. And when I say week to week, it just sounds like we're super poor and running a string budget here, which is maybe. Anyway, go sign up and be a patron, patreon.com/tfradio. There's all kinds of benefits at any tier. You get an ad-free version of the podcast. You get the podcast a day before it goes out to the public feed. And that might be less than 24 hours, but it will be the calendar day before it goes out to the public feed. You get the podcast at a higher bit rate. You get the weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast, and we had a good discussion about something on the pre-show podcast this week, but I can't remember because that was like 6 weeks ago now. You also get unedited episodes of RFC exclusively. That is if Brian has to make a substantial edit to the show for Don losing his mind and just going off on a blue tear. Not so much things like Don's leg trying to fall off and him, stumbling off for medical assistance halfway through the show, which may or may not have happened this week. But if it did, you probably don't know about it because it got edited out. You're welcome, Brian. Um, of course, you get the There Goes My Money podcast a week early. And if you sign up at the Touch tier, you have the opportunity to be on There Goes My Money with me and our group of regular Touch tier patrons. We just recorded an episode last night that will be coming out to the patron feed sometime soon and to the public feed a week after that. So if you're a patron at any tier, you'll get There Goes My Money a week early. And again, sign up as a Touch patron and you can actually be there while we're recording it and be part of the chaotic fun. And of course, Touch patrons get mentioned on the show each week and are listed at all times at tfradio.net/credits. And our Touch patrons that I would like to thank this week include Kevin Dorsey, Jacob Owen Lutia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Stresovich, Hector Bones, Jay Klein Rye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Rick Mahurin, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, and Trickster. Thank you all so much for being our Touch patrons. And thank you to all of you out there who support us via Patreon. You literally keep us going.
And via our internal chat, everyone take a drink. Brian just bought something.
Brian has been chipping in on our Zoom chat throughout the show, and I've just been declining to relay most of it, but that was an important note to get out there into the official podcasting. I'm glad that's canon now.
Yeah, I read that. I thought that's what he bought, not who he bought it from.
He might have an art fire actually. Yeah, he said he does. Yeah. Of course, Brian, there's always nicer art fires that you could have, so be sure to keep an eye out for that too.
I have one in a box wrapped in multiple blankets as far away from the light as possible.
Well, unless you have it lead encased, it probably won't matter in the long run.
Thanks.
So, you can find us at tfradio.net. The show notes for this particular episode are at tfradio.net/880. Brian Kilby is at briankilby.com. He is Kilby on Blue Sky. If he's got other stuff, I don't know, and I don't really care, to be honest. It's almost 9:30 for me, and it's even later for everybody else. Don, where do we find you?
You can find me scrolling through Sragaia right now on my phone while the free shipping is going on. You can also find me on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EBR. You can find me on Blue Sky, and once I remember to actually go over there and do something, at HMRC number 4 EBR.bluesky.social. I also have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/donlist. Please don't send me any more Cheetos.
But do look for lead foil for his art fire.
Yeah. I understand lead foil is actually really, really fragile because it pounds out so thin. So it's probably not the best thing to actually go for, and it might be slightly toxic. Okay, Rob, in lieu of lead foil, where can we find you?
You can find me at robflails.bsky.social. Also on YouTube at Flailthroughs, which is my Gundam gaming channel. Gundam Battle Operation 2 is still the main thing. When Gundam Breaker 4 comes out, I will be there. I am actually probably within the next couple of hours going to be posting a video for a contest. Bandai Namco and Fathom Events have given me some tickets to the Gundam Seed Freedom screening to give away. So
neat.
Keep an eye for that on Flailthroughs within, at the latest, the next 24 hours. So
cool.
Yeah. And beyond that, I have a wish list at tfradio.net/playlist.
Diecast?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at diecast2 or Blue Sky at diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. You can see all my reviews on tfradio.net/reviews or youtube.com/RFC reviews. Ignore the last one. It was not a Transformers review.
How dare you?
That was uploaded today. And then also you can if you want to send me stuff, tfradio.net/diecast list.
Matt.
Melvar.bsky.social with 3 L's and 2 R's is an account that exists.
It sure does. I follow it, I think. John DeLuna?
That John D everywhere.
Of course, John DeLuna is back with us now, basically full-time, but Rob Springer, sadly, is not with us. But you can find him online at Robo Rob Springer on Twitter. He is Zonebase on Blue Sky, also zonebase.org. And after a long-ish hiatus, there is now a new episode of Transform Squadron, Rob Springer's podcast, which was just posted today. So you can go find that in our main podcast feed. So go check that out. It's also up on the website at tfradio.net. All right. I think that will do it for us this week. Thanks for hanging in with me for the extra 45 minutes or so compared to a normal Brian episode. But we had a lot to talk about this week. Hopefully Brian will be back with us in better shape next time and things will be a little bit more normal. Until then, see ya.
Recording stopped.
How do I order something from Mr. Gaia?
PayPal.
I wonder if it'll do a pay in 4.
That I don't know.
It might.
Yeah, Brian, you should have 6 months option as well.
Just is that really a decent price for box broken, main body damaged, paint peeled off, light dirt, sticker attached, light dirt?
I didn't. I just thought the box was damaged.
Yeah, just read the descriptions carefully.
Yeah,
there's guy is all I'm saying.
There's a Dagwan set of Liner Dagwan who I have, but it's the main thumbnail is the box one that I was looking at before. This one keeps the same thumbnail, but it's just the loose trains with none of the pieces to form Liner Dagwan.
All right, everybody watching live, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around the extra length here. We're going to go ahead and kill the stream.
Bye, Twitch.
Good night, and we will see you next week.
I'm going to drop off. My battery's almost dead.
Oh, good timing then. Bye, Diecast.
Yeah. All right.
Take care,
See ya.
Diecast.
Anyway, Rob, I loved you rattling off so smoothly that list of all the flaws with that jazz. That was
Yeah. So looking at it, it actually doesn't look that bad. It's it looks like they do the same thing that Mandarake does, which is kind of over